Hello, my name is Emily Christ. I'm with Purdue Extension here in Elkhart County. My job in the county as the Health and Human Sciences Educator is just to provide educational resources on a plethora of different topics, but today we're talking about one that's near and dear to my heart. I have partnered with the Alzheimer's Association for the past few years in order to provide continuous education, knowledge, and statistics about continuous research that is going on at the Alzheimer's Association and how we can not only better help ourselves and our loved ones, but also our community as well. And the first step into doing that is doing an awareness presentation on Alzheimer's and dementia, because a lot of folks don't understand the difference of the two and the great importance of having some sort of knowledge of this disease. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to connect with you all today and just share some information about Alzheimer's and dementia. I volunteer with the Alzheimer's Association, which is why I'm here so that you guys know that any of you can also volunteer for the association and talk about important topics like this as well. I want to talk a little bit quickly about a backstory of mine and why this sits so near and dear to my heart. Just a few years ago, we lost my grandfather to a very lengthy and, for lack of better terms, brutal battle of Alzheimer's. And since then, and since losing him, I felt that it was kind of a calling of mine to start telling people about the disease. And not only that, but try and normalize the feelings that come with the disease for caregivers, families, all of that. So that's why I'm here today. It took a very big toll on our family, losing my grandfather the way we did, because if you have been impacted by Alzheimer's disease or dementia, you understand the weight it has on you and your family. And usually that person just is not that person anymore. So yeah, that's why I'm here to talk about that today. So because we're not in person, I just want to take a moment of reflection. But my question to you is, how many of you know someone that's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease or other dementia? Typically, if we were in a classroom setting, it's at least half of the people in the class that will raise their hand to explain that they've been impacted in some way, shape, or form. So more than 6 million Americans have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and the number of people living with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia is even higher and continues to rise. So here in Elkhart County, and let's just say in Indiana in general, Alzheimer's and dementia have affected many of us. So I want to take a look at a brief video which highlights why the work we do is so important and needed now more than ever. This video was developed based on the Alzheimer's Association Alzheimer's Disease Facts and Figures report. This kind of provides us a more in-depth look at the latest statistics in Alzheimer's disease prevalence, mortality, caregiving, and cost of care. So unfortunately, because I am recording this, it's not going to let me show you the video. So instead, I'm just going to explain to you a few of the bigger important statistics that have come out. So as of 2025, an estimated 7.2 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's, and a number projected to nearly double to 13.8 million by 2060. So it is the 7th leading cause of death in the US, with total care costs reaching around $384 billion in 2025, with 12 million caregivers providing unpaid care. And those are the big statistics that we're going to look at. So as you can see, the numbers are staggering. You have more than 7 million Americans that are living with Alzheimer's, and more than 12 million are providing unpaid care for people living with the disease. Alzheimer's is one of the costliest conditions to society. Left unchecked, Alzheimer's will destroy our finances, our families, and our futures. So fortunately, the Alzheimer's Association is leading the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementias around the world and our community. Just to make sure we're all on the same page with some important definitions, I would say, The Alzheimer's Association mission references Alzheimer's and dementia. So let me tell you a little bit more about dementia and Alzheimer's. Dementia is a general term for loss of memory, kind of like an umbrella term, and other thinking abilities severe enough to interfere with our daily lives. Alzheimer's tends to be the most common cause of dementia. Dementia is not a single disease, it's an overall term like heart disease that covers a wide range of specific medical conditions, including Alzheimer's disease. Disorders grouped under the general term dementia are caused by abnormal brain changes. These changes trigger a decline in thinking skills, also known as cognitive abilities, severe enough to impair or impact your daily life and independent function. They also affect behaviors, feelings, and relationships. Alzheimer's disease accounts for 60 to 80% of cases. We also have vascular dementia, which occurs because of the microscopic bleeding in blood vessels that is a blockage in the brain. It's the second most common cause of dementia. Those who experience the brain changes of multiple types of dementia simultaneously have mixed dementia. There are many other conditions that cause symptoms of dementia, including some that are reversible, such as thyroid problems and even vitamin deficiencies. So what is Alzheimer's? Alzheimer's is the most common cause of dementia. It is not a normal part of aging, which I think can be confused sometimes. The greatest known risk factor for Alzheimer's is increasing age, and the majority of people with Alzheimer's are 65 and older. Alzheimer's disease is considered to be younger onset Alzheimer's if it affects a person under 65. Younger onset can also be referred to as early onset Alzheimer's. People with younger onset Alzheimer's can be in the early, middle, or late stage of the disease. Alzheimer's will worsen over time. Alzheimer's is known as a progressive disease where dementia symptoms gradually worsen over a number of years. In its early stages, memory loss is mild, but the late stage Alzheimer's individuals lose the ability to carry on a conversation and respond to their environment. On average, a person with Alzheimer's lives 4 to 8 years after diagnosis and can live as long as 20 years depending on other factors. Often, dementia will start out slowly and gradually get worse. If you or someone you know is experiencing memory difficulties or other changes in thinking skills, please don't ignore them. Even if the symptoms are mild, you want to see a doctor soon to determine the cause. There are many benefits to receiving an early and accurate diagnosis, including an opportunity to plan for the future, access support services, and explore treatment options. Okay, so let's talk about populations at a higher risk. So in some communities, the risk of Alzheimer's is even greater. Studies have shown that Black Americans are twice as likely as white Americans to develop Alzheimer's, and Hispanic Americans are 1.5 times more likely than non-Hispanic white Americans to develop the disease. Members of underserved, diverse communities are more likely to endure poverty and have more limited access to quality health care. They are also likely to pursue a diagnosis, receive support, or participate in a clinical trial. Alzheimer's also has a disproportionate impact on women, unfortunately. In the United States, more than 11 million women are either living with Alzheimer's or caring for someone who has it, and almost 2/3 of Americans living with Alzheimer's are women. Women in their 60s are more than twice as likely to develop Alzheimer's disease over the rest of their lives as they are to develop breast cancer. At the Alzheimer's Association, they believe that diverse perspectives are critical in achieving healthy equity, meaning that all communities have a fair and just opportunity for early diagnosis and access to risk reduction and quality of care. The association is committed to engaging underrepresented and underserved communities in responding with resources and education to address the disproportionate impact of Alzheimer's and dementia. So let's talk about the impact of Alzheimer's and what it has on families. Adult children and spouses of people living with dementia often serve as primary caregivers. It can be challenging for all family members to accept changes in their roles and responsibilities. The demands of caregiving can limit a caregiver's ability to take care of themselves. Family caregivers of people with Alzheimer's and other related dementias are at a greater risk for anxiety, depression, or even poor quality of life than caregivers of people with other conditions. Additionally, the lifetime cost of care for individuals with Alzheimer's is more than twice the amount incurred by individuals without Alzheimer's. Here on the screen, you can also see some different facts and figures. One of the big ones to me, approximately 2/3 of caregivers are women. More specifically, over 1/3 of dementia caregivers are daughters, which happened to be the case within my family. And another one, of the total lifetime cost of caring for someone with dementia, 70% is borne by families, either throughout of pocket health or long-term care expenses, or from value of unpaid care. Caring for someone living with Alzheimer's can not only take a physical and emotional toll, it also takes a social and financial toll for a lot of families. Because Alzheimer's and dementia has such a profound effect on individuals, families, whole communities, all of us should be equipped in order to recognize the warning signs. There are 10 key warning signs that we look for in the symptoms of Alzheimer's, which can be subtle, but it can also be profound. So please note that it's possible for individuals to experience one or more of these signs in varying degrees. It is not necessary to experience every single sign in order to raise concern. So down below on the screen, you will see the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. The first one is memory loss that disrupts your daily life. Number 2 is challenges in planning or solving problems. 3 is difficulty completing familiar tasks. 4 is confusion with time or place. A lot of the times with this, we look at people not remembering names, that kind of stuff. Or even kind of going into number 5, the trouble understanding visual images or different relationships. 6, new problems with words and speaking or writing. This doesn't necessarily mean that they lose their ability to speak, or maybe they forget words that they commonly use, or even maybe they adapt to a different language. It's very common for people with Alzheimer's to maybe become more vulgar in their language, and it's just because they don't understand what they're saying. Number 7 is misplacing things and losing the ability to retrace our steps. Again, we lose our keys from time to time. We lose our purse, our credit card, whatever. That is normal, but you're eventually able to find them. Somebody with Alzheimer's or other dementia may struggle to ever find those ever again, or it happens quite frequently. Decreased or poor judgment. This is very scary for those that maybe still drive, or in our case, in our family, my grandfather was a handyman, used tools a lot. And so one day he put a nail through his hand in his workshop. And so after that, we had to completely lock up the basement so that he would not go down there anymore. So that's just a very intense example of decreased or poor judgment. Maybe it's withdrawal from work or social activities. That's number 9. Someone who may have been super social at one point and loved to be with family and friends, maybe they pull back and they don't do that as much. And then the big one, that I think a lot of people see when it comes to the diagnosis of this disease is changes in mood or personality. If you notice any of the warning signs of Alzheimer's disease in yourself or someone you know, it's important that you schedule an appointment with your doctor. The earlier someone is diagnosed, the more treatment options that become available. Excuse me. So sorry. Some medications are only effective in the early stages of the disease, which makes it even more important to get that early diagnosis. Additionally, when caught early, some lifestyle changes, such as maybe controlling your blood pressure, stopping smoking, participating in exercise, or even staying mentally and socially active, may help preserve that cognitive function. Receiving an early Alzheimer's diagnosis may also help in lessen anxieties about why someone is experiencing those symptoms. So with early detection, families also have the opportunity to maximize time together and access resources and support programs. The importance of early detection you can see also there on the screen. Paying attention to any changes in memory, thinking, or behavior that you may notice in yourself or someone else. If you see those changes or feel they are unusual, it's important that you take action and have that conversation with people in your family, someone you trust, or your doctor or your doctor. And there are a number of benefits to early detection, like what we just talked about, treatment options, planning for the future, and then different clinical trials as well. Let's quickly talk about the treatments for Alzheimer's. There is exciting progress in Alzheimer's and dementia research that is creating promising new treatments for people living with the disease. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, has approved medications for Alzheimer's. They fall under two different categories. So drugs that temporarily ease some of the symptoms that comes with the disease, and then drugs that change disease progression in people living with Alzheimer's. Those two FDA-approved treatments demonstrate that removing beta amyloids, one of the hallmarks for Alzheimer's disease, from the brain will reduce cognitive and functional decline in people living with early onset Alzheimer's. Today, there is a worldwide effort underway to find better ways to treat the disease, delay its onset, and prevent it from developing. When thinking about any treatment, it is important to have a conversation with a healthcare professional to determine whether it's appropriate and weigh potential benefits and risks. A doctor who is experienced in using these medications should monitor people who are taking them and provide information that can help make informed decisions about their usage and care. To prevent drug interactions, maybe unwanted side effects, it's important that a person's doctor or pharmacist or care team are aware of all medications being taken, including over-the-counter and some alternative remedies. Just a quick note, current medications on the market cannot cure Alzheimer's, but there are treatments that change the progression, and those are the ones that we just spoke about. So in addition to the exciting advancements in treatment, there's more research every day about the importance of brain health to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and other dementia. There are several risk factors for cognitive decline in dementia, some such as age, which is something we obviously can't control. Research is still evolving, but evidence is strong that people can reduce their risk of cognitive decline by making key lifestyle changes, including participating in regular physical activity, staying socially engaged, and maintaining good heart health. When possible, combine these habits to achieve maximum benefit for the brain and the body, starting now. It's never too late or too early to incorporate healthy habits. These 10 healthy habits are going to be what's good for the brain health. Do as many of them as you can for maximum benefit, and we'll read a couple of these here in just a second. So staying in school, education in any capacity or at any stage of life will reduce risk of cognitive decline. So encouraging, children to stay in school or finding different ways in order to get your brain working or learning. Maybe it's a local library, a community college, or even attending a class like this. Challenging your mind, staying cognitively engaged by trying something new or hard for you. Learning a new skill or try something artistic, challenging your mind may have short and long-term benefits for your brain. Next is going to be get moving. So regularly engaging in physical activity that increases your heart rate and increases blood flow to your brain and body. Try to find new or more ways to build physical activity into your day. Speak with your doctor before beginning any sort of exercise regimen to make sure you're cleared to do so. Next is eat right. So balanced, healthy eating is good for the brain. This includes eating less saturated fats and processed foods and more vegetables, fruits, and lean proteins. Build a healthier food option that makes sense for you and your everyday life. Maintain a healthy weight. So a healthy weight is important for heart and brain health. There is a compelling evidence that shows that midlife obesity increases risk for cognitive decline and possibly dementia. Next is going to be controlling our blood pressure. So high blood pressure is a risk to just overall health, but severely to brain health. Monitoring your blood pressure and working with your doctor to keep it under control is going to be very important. Medications can be very effective, and other healthy habits like eating healthy, being physically active, and then getting quality sleep can help too. Another one is managing diabetes. So type 2 diabetes is also a risk to brain health. Type 2 diabetes can be prevented or controlled by healthier eating, increasing the physical activity, and medication if necessary. Work with a healthcare provider in order to control your diabetes. This one is surprises some, but protecting your head. There is solid evidence that brain injuries increase the risk of developing certain forms of dementia, and repeated head injuries can increase risk even more. Protect your head by always wearing appropriate headgear like helmets, maybe even seat belts, and make sure kids ride in approved car seats too. Preventing falls, especially for older adults, is very important. So try to remove any sort of tripping hazard in the home. Next is going to be sleeping well. So of course, good quality sleep is important for our brain health. If you have a sleep-related problem like sleep apnea, you want to make sure you talk to your doctor. Improve the quality of your daily sleep by doing things like minimizing disruptions and making your sleep environment more comfortable for you. Maybe that's lighting, temperature, noise, all those fun things. Be smoke-free is going to be our last one. There is strong evidence that smoking increases risk of cognitive decline and possibly even dementia for current smokers. Quitting smoking can lower the risk of cognitive decline back to levels similar to those who have not smoked. As you can see, there are many reasons to feel hopeful about the Alzheimer's Association's vision of a world without Alzheimer's disease and other dementia. As the Alzheimer's Association, it is leading the way to end this disease, and we don't stand alone in this. We're doing this work with the help of people like you nationwide who have joined the fight. We believe that people in our community deserve access to services, programs, and awareness to diagnose and treat dementia, as well as support through their journey. The Alzheimer's Association is the trusted authority and the only organization in communities across the nation that can lead in this essential work. There are few different things that you can do to help, and I want to make sure that you know about the Alzheimer's Association and how they can help you and your community. No matter where you are in this journey, you are not alone. There is a 24/7 helpline. The number is listed there on the screen. It's available around the clock 365 days a year. Through this free service, specialist master level clinicians offer confidential support and information to people living with dementia and caregivers, and then families and the public. We used this resource a ton with my grandfather. The Alzheimer's Association website, of course, offers a wide range of dementia and age-related resources that connect individuals facing dementia with local programs and services. They also provide easy access to resources, community programs, and services within the local community. There's face-to-face and virtual education, like what you are doing today, and also different support programs that ensures that the services the Alzheimer's Association provides reaches all sorts within the community. The educational programs include basic introductory information as well as more advanced caregiver topics and programming for professional care providers. These programs are free and open to the public and delivered by trusted volunteers, staff, and encourage people proactively to talk to their doctors about reducing risk, diagnosing dementia early, and ongoing treatment when it's appropriate. Other programs that they offer are also available on demand through the Alzheimer's Association website. The association is known for its kind, welcoming, and compassionate support for caregivers and people living with dementia. In addition to in-person and virtual support groups, the Alzheimer's Association, All's Connected, is a free online community where people living with dementia and those who care for them can connect with others and understand what they're going through. We also offer a suite of online different tools to empower those facing the disease, including Alz Navigator, an interactive online tool that creates custom action plans for users based on their current situation. And through community partnerships, we offer early stage social engagement programs for those living with Alzheimer's and dementia. To help fuel our mission, we engage volunteers at every level of our organization and raise funds to support our efforts. Often, our fundraising events are the entry point for individuals to volunteer with the association. So let's talk a little bit about each of our signature events. So held annually in more than 600 communities nationwide, there is the Walk to End Alzheimer's, and the world's largest fundraiser for Alzheimer's care, support, and research. What this event does is it calls on participants of all ages and abilities to join the fight against the disease. The other fundraising opportunity is the longest day. It's the longest day with the most light, otherwise known as the summer solstice. So volunteers from across the world fight the darkness of Alzheimer's through a fundraising activity of their choice. Whether you're participating at home, online, or in person, we offer plenty of fun ideas to engage family and community and friends for the longest day. You can help us realize our vision of a world without Alzheimer's and all other dementia. The association has a variety of volunteer opportunities available to fit all interests, skills, and experience levels. You can use your unique talents to make a meaningful impact in your community. While connecting with others who share your passion, whether you want to get involved as an individual, volunteer with your service club, organization, company, or group, or you need some support for a friend, family member, or neighbor, the Alzheimer's Association is here for you. Contact the Alzheimer's Association to find the role that's best fit for you. As we close today, I'm reminded of the words of our founding president, Jerome H. Stone. Mr. Stone was a true visionary in the Alzheimer's movement, and when his wife, Evelyn, was diagnosed with the Alzheimer's disease in 1970, information about Alzheimer's, even among the medical community, was limited. With drive and determination, Stone took a disease that was cloaked in silence and helped to create a global conversation. Today, I invite you to become part of the volunteer community that is essential to increasing our reach and impact across the country and in the communities that need us the most. And on the screen, you can see there a quote from Jerome Stone, the founding president of the Alzheimer's Association. Do things here and now, not after you're gone. If you have some money, share it. If you have some time, do something worthwhile. I hope you walk away from this presentation having learned something you can use or share with someone who can. I look forward to hearing from those of you who are inspired to do more to help the Alzheimer's Association and realize Dr. Stone's vision, a world without Alzheimer's and other dementia. I appreciate your time today, and I hope you can take a few moments to fill out the survey that is going to be linked with this presentation. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.